Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a trying new makeup. A bunch of the stuff I'm trying today is from my Sephora haul, which you guys would have seen. I'll link it above if you have not checked it out already. That is part 1 of my Sephora haul. We will be doing a part 2. Very excited for part 2. I also have not used the Natasha Denona Retro palette, so I was going to use that today to do my eyeshadow, and then we have a bunch of newer makeup to test out for this video. I'm also going to be using my Makeup by Ariel and Morphe brushes. We have a sponge in there, eye brushes, and face brushes. Those will be the brushes that we test out today. If you like trying new makeups, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, as I know to continue doing them in the future. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave. Hit the bell if you want to be notified of all my future videos, and let's go ahead and begin this week's trying new makeup. Here's what the Natasha Denona Retro palette looks like. Absolutely gorgeous. Always my eyes are personally drawn to the mattes in this palette. The shimmers are pretty too, but there's something about matte shadows that I always am drawn to. Starting off with the A11 brush, you can see the letter and number at the bottom of the brush. I love the angle of it. So I'm going to start in with Nude Mauve right here and just lightly put that through the crease. A lot of kick up. Just dipped in. This brush is super soft and it has a lot of play with the bristles because there's not really that many to it, so I feel like it really blows out the shadow. This went a little bit higher than I anticipated. It's just because the brush isn't very dense. So I do like the brush, I just, knowing that for next time, I would just be more mindful of my placement because it's a little large for my eye space. But it's definitely a nice brush. Like, I mean, it blended out everything beautifully. So I will continue to test that. And we're going to be gradually deepening up the mattes. And I'm going to take the A20 brush, which looks like this. Taking a mirror, I'm going to put that in the outer corner. Again, the first thing I notice with the brush is it's not very dense. So these are actually quite different from any brushes that I personally have, just due to the density of them. You can definitely see that it would get a more blown out look. I think the only thing missing in that set for me is a really tiny precise pencil brush, just because I like really small blending or detail brushes for my eyes. I think those are key. I'm actually going to take the A18 brush with that shade Groove, and I'm going to run it along my lash line and then buff it out with that other brush. Oh, Ariana Grande Rem. See what we're buying. Same thing with this smudger brush. It's just not as dense as others. That's the key thing about these brushes. They just don't have as many hairs to them. It's noticeably different for me though, compared to any of my other brushes. We have these two brushes here. I'm actually gonna take this end of this brush because I feel like it's gonna pack on the color better, and if that doesn't work out, I'm just gonna use my finger. So I'm gonna go ahead in with the shade Glitz. That's the shade that catches my eye the most. That's not a matte. So I figured we should test one of those out on the lid. Just gonna spray my brush first. I would also use this for concealer. Doesn't seem to be picking up very much product at all. Nothing. I'm gonna try this brush, spray it, see if that picks it up better. A little bit better, but not much. So we're gonna go ahead and use my finger to apply the shade. That does look really pretty lightly on the eye. I like that. I'm gonna try with finger. I'm just going to go ahead and do my magnetic liner. I do have some magnetic lashes that I haven't tried before, and they're from Ardell. They're wispy lashes, which I love, and they're regular lashes, and I have the issue with lash glue, as you guys know, so saving my eyes today by wearing these because my eyes were irritated this past week from wearing eyelashes, unfortunately. Just using the Kiss magnetic liner. I'm just going to take off this tape. This is from Sephora collection. If you guys are curious, it's medical grade and just creates that super clean, crisp line. These are too long for my eyes, so I'm gonna have to cut it. I'm gonna have to be left with 3 magnets. I don't like the placement of these magnets because I have to cut off more lash than I want. I had to cut off that much lash just to get it. So it's like a half lash now. I noticed that these magnets are much smaller and thinner than previous magnetic lashes I've used. Yeah, I definitely find that these don't stick as well. Like this one's already popping off. I'm going to go back in with more magnetic liner just because this one's definitely not holding. I've never struggled with magnetic lashes until this one. Just not as secure, I feel. Just going to prep my skin prior to going in with foundation. Foundation, I have nothing new, but I do want to use one of the brushes in the Morphe Ariel collection. Just going to mix in some of my neutral foundation from Urban Decay Stay Naked. I have to mix a lot right now just because I'm in between my foundations. And I have these beauty spatulas from Amazon that I picked up. They have some small and big ones to get to the bottom of this and use that up. There's a big difference in size. It's my second bottle of this that I've used up. Look at all that product that wouldn't have got used. If you guys don't have a spatula, you need one. I'm just going to wet the sponge. Here's the sponge before, and here is the sponge after. It's still kind of expanding, like weird. It's like all lumpy. We'll give it a go. For concealer, I purchased the new one from H&B Cosmetics. It's the Soft Focus Airbrush Concealer. Got the shade 2W. Has a nice big wand, just like Tarte Shape Tape. A lot of product comes out when you use it, so I just kind of take a little bit off. And this is full on coverage. See that? Has really good coverage. I love this color. I've used this a few days now and it's definitely really good. It lasts well, coverage is good, formula isn't too drying, but does a fantastic job at just concealing that under eye. I love this color. So good. And the sponge is nice. It's still misshapen for me. Like it didn't fully expand properly. It's like lumpy. But it does the trick. Just looks super lumpy. And again, with the other brushes, I felt the same way about the foundation brush. I just needed a little bit more bristles for it to work for me. I like something a little more dense, but I think it would be good for just a different sort of foundation or for more sheer foundation. So it's not bad. It's just they're different from what I'm used to. That's all. They're not bad brushes. They're actually really good. And I like that they're different because I'll definitely get use out of them because I have no brushes like it, honestly. It's just the density. That's what's totally different about them. Then for powders, I have two here that I picked up during the sale. I got a new shade in my Dior Powder No Powder, and then I picked up the Microsmooth powder from Sephora brand, which I've never tried before. So I'm actually going to go ahead and use the Sephora brand powder to set my face. Normally I use a puff to set my under eye, so I'm going to use the Dior just for that purpose, and then I'll use the Microsmooth on the rest of my face. So good. I love this powder. Just makes such a big difference. Then taking the A21 powder brush, just going to use that Microsmooth powder and dust it over all my face. And this is the perfect density for me for a powder brush, or at least from what I'm used to. Just light dusting, doesn't disturb the foundation. Both these powders hard pan kind of easily. I don't know if you can see it in this one. Starting to get a little bit of hard pan, but that happened to this one for me. And I also picked up a H&B Cosmetics bronzer. I hadn't tried this launch yet, and I went with the shade Medium Golden. I really love Holly Boone's cosmetics. They worked out really well for me, so I was excited to pick this one up. It's a really good olive tone bronzer if you're looking for one. I was talking about how I find olive tone products kind of hard to find, especially in powder cosmetics or lip pencils even, but this one has a nice olive undertone, I find. It's really pretty. So I'm just taking the A3.2. I'm gonna lightly dust on this bronzer. My under eye is looking super bright and smooth. I'm just gonna take a little bit more powder and kind of go over everything to kind of blend it all in. I'm not gonna contour my nose, I just wanna bring it back to life because it's missing in my face. Whatever leftover bronzer was on that brush. And then I'm gonna take this Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in At Night. Look at this shade, it is so pretty. You don't even need highlight with this. So that's why I'm not going to use it today. I'm using the A58 brush. This has that luminosity to the blush, plus some color, but it gives a gold kind of sheen to the cheeks. I thought it would go perfectly with the retro palette. Love that color. So pretty. Finish off my eyes, I'm just going to use a little bit of the Bare Minerals Mineralist Eyeliner in Garnet. Just this beautiful red shade. It's fairly subtle. It's one of the retractable ones, which is nice. Don't have to sharpen that. I'm going to put this in the waterline and then finish off the eyes with a little bit of mascara. Then to finish off the lips, I have a lip combo right here, which I'm going to do. I'm going to start off with Morphe Sweet Tea to line my lips. Go in with Laura Lee Los Angeles Nakey liquid lipstick, and then finish off with my favorite gloss of all time, which is the Pat McGrath Labs lip gloss in Flesh 6. I'm back. This is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoy the look we created today, and I do want to go over the products that we used that were new and tell you my final thoughts on them. So we are going to start off with the Natasha Denona Retro palette, and I didn't have any issue with this. It's the same sort of quality that I'm to expect from Natasha Denona. I love these mid-size palettes. They're my personal favorite. The color story is beautiful on this. I could have went many different ways, but I did something pretty standard for what I would do with the palette with this kind of color story. So I'm very happy to have that. Something that I'm still experiencing some issues with are these Ardell Double Wispy Magnetic Lashes. And I do find that I'm having some lifting. When I went into the bathroom, one of my entire lashes was off. So maybe that was during the whole video. I don't know, because they don't feel as secure as other lashes. So this is not something I'd feel comfortable going outside and the wind hitting me, which usually I can do with my normal magnetic lashes. These I feel like would just fly away. They just don't feel very secure. The Morphe and Ariel brushes. I have to say that I do really like them. It was just totally different than what I was expecting because they're all super light in their density, which are unlike any other brushes that I personally have in my collection, which was surprising because I noticed it right away, how less dense these were, which isn't a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because these will add to my collection instead of just being extra brushes, you know, they are special. So I am happy with this so far. I'm excited to play around with them further. There's only 2 brushes that I didn't use this time around, but I did try and use all the brushes for this video, and I'm very happy with this set. The sponge comes with it. It's still all misshapen, but it worked. It did its job. No complaints there. It's super, super soft if you like soft sponges. Then we have some new products from HMB Cosmetics, which I recently purchased, and I love these. The concealer is amazing. This does everything I want it to do for my under eyes. It just brightens it, but fills in my troughs, makes it look super smooth underneath my eyes. The formula is so good. She has really good shade range in this concealer too, considering she came out with 18 shades and is a small business. Highly, highly recommend checking out the concealer. I think you guys are gonna love it. And even the bronzer, absolutely love the color of this. It was hard for me to kind of pick up my shade because they're all quite warm. This one is a warm olive undertone, which is also unique to my collection. So I'm very happy to find these more unique bits in this video. It was a trying new makeup, which was shockingly unique for what I don't have. So I'm very happy with those. Couple other things that stood out to me. The Hourglass blush in At Night. Just the glow it gives the cheeks with the color I think is so pretty, especially for the holiday season coming up. So I'm very happy with this purchase. Then I end up trying out one of the Bare Minerals Mineralist eyeliners in Garnet. Really pretty shade. It's a subtle red tone, but really makes the eye color pop. And then I had these 2 powders to test out. One isn't new. Still used it underneath my eyes and I love the color. I'm so happy I got 2N for the cooler months. And then I also picked up the Microsmooth powder from Sephora brand. And this did a nice overall set of my face for finishing off my face. So I'm happy to have this in the collection too. I will continue to use it and see how I like it further. But overall, I think my face looks really good. Everything feels set. And randomly, I also used some spatulas in this video. If you guys want to check them out, I'll link them for Amazon. I haven't used these big ones yet. I have another small one that I have with my skincare upstairs, and this one I'm just going to be using for whatever foundation that I'm using up, which is currently this one. So this is going to just hang out on my desk for the next week, and hopefully I can use that up quickly. But you need a spatula if you don't have one, if you want to use up all those last bits, because that pump would never get that out. So you have a lot of uses left there. That is everything that was new in this video. The rest of the products I've used on my channel before, talked about, so they're not new. I'm not going to go over them, but I love how this look turned out, and I'm so happy with all the products we focused on for today's video. So I hope this helps you out. Maybe decide, seeing it on my face, the application, if you want to pick them up, because I find application is the best to see. Will I like this? Because you can definitely tell on camera what looks good, what doesn't, what works, what doesn't. These eyelashes totally skip on. It's coming off as I talk. That's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what your favorite thing was from this video in the comment section below. I'd love to know. And also, if you've tried any of these products, I would love to know your thoughts on them as well. We can have whole reviews for different people in the comment section below, and everyone can help each other out, which is always great on my channel. So thank you guys who do comment and let others know your experience as well. Much appreciated. I would also love for you guys to subscribe if you haven't already by hitting the red subscribe button, the bell if you want to be notified of all my future videos, and I will see you guys in my next video.